Hello everyone, this is Exalted G's and welcome to Tabletop Thursday. Today, our topic is character death. Characters are our window into the worlds created by our GMs, and people can grow quite attached to their characters. Character death can be a sad thing, an amazing thing, or a huge disappointment, or a mix of all three depending on the situation and the GM. While I'm GMing, I prefer to talk to my players about how they feel about their character's death. If they're really liking their character, the adventure that we're in, or any plot hooks they've gotten themselves into, I'll usually let them escape death or deadly situations, but in critical condition. They usually will get an incurable scar of some sort, or a limp or limb loss, some sort of permanent physical reminder that they almost died. If they're okay with their deaths, I'll usually leave it up to the dice at that point. I think death has the ability to add depth to the campaign, especially if handled well, like a villain killing a player character or a beloved NPC. Personally, I very rarely mind my characters dying. I don't actually get the chance to play that often, and whenever I do and my characters die, it's usually in an awesome or funny way, and I like it. Like my transgender lizard folk warrior. He left his tribe to prove himself as a man to his father, who was the leader of said tribe, and he went to help a group of mercenaries he heard about defend a castle, and then proceeded to get crit for max damage against literally the first enemy they met. The party then took the weapon, I believe it was an axe or a hammer, and named it Lizard's Bane. If I recall, it was later enchanted with the actual Bane ability, and the party kept it in the castle as a sort of trophy. While I did put a lot of work into the backstory of that character, and I worked with the GM to create future adventure hooks, the dice didn't really roll in my favor and I died. But it was hilarious and completely worth it. His death actually led to the creation of my favorite character, but we'll get to him in the future. Another player death that comes to mind is my friend Justin's wizard. This was during a high school campaign. We were 15 or 16 and one of my friends was running it. We were escorting a prospector to an abandoned mine and we ran into a random person. They seemed distraught and they were wearing rags. We agreed to take them with us because, we're heroes after all, and we did know where the only city on this continent was. It was kind of post-apocalyptic. We reached the abandoned mine and the party split. Most of us went into the mine with the prospector to defend him against anything we might find in there, while the druid and the wizard stayed behind to protect the cart and the random person we met. As soon as our characters were out of earshot in the mine, the person transformed into a monstrously tall blue creature, an ogre mage. He swung his longsword and crit the wizard in the face for max damage, instantly killing him. Our characters rolled our listen checks and heard the commotion. We charged out of that mine and we fought a valiant battle against that ogre mage, many of us almost dying as well. But we chased it off, we didn't end up killing it, that would bite us in the ass later. We worked that hard only to find our friend's corpse. The entire party began to argue about the best way to bury him and honor his memory, and the druid cursed him out for letting his familiar die, for some reason. I believe my barbarian made a puppet out of the wizard's skull. My barbarian character had a few screws loose. Anyway, this helped enhance the campaign, because then we knew that the DM was not going to pull any punches. We had to be careful, and we couldn't just drop our guard around strangers anymore. Those are two of the most memorable player deaths I've seen, and they've really helped enhance the campaigns they were involved in. The third death, however, was a huge disappointment. I was playing a Modron cleric of Ouijas. This campaign was run by someone outside my main group, and I was in it for a bit. I debated on leaving for a while, and this death, and some other stuff I'm not going to get into here, helped me make my decision. Basically, we were down 2 players, and me and the, psychic warrior decided we could handle the adventure. So we fought against some vampires who had a homebrew item that made them immune to turning, and then descended into a cave where we were ambushed by devils or demons or something. The DM of this campaign had a looser grip of the rules than I would have liked, and he thought that these enemies could teleport with their spell-like ability as a free action, so it was basically a few rounds of us getting constantly sneak attacked and not being able to hit them because they just kept teleporting out of range. My Modron died pretty quickly, and I considered it to be pretty cheap. His AC was like 35 or 40. I really boosted it up, and it felt cheap. It felt like it was just a death trap. Oddly enough though, we've never tried to resurrect a player in my group. Once they die, that's kinda just it. Not that the option for resurrection is off the table, except for in one campaign we had no resurrections. But that's just it. I think we're always too low level or the player's fine making a new character. My tabletop goal for death though, that would be to either run an adventure or participate in an adventure to the afterlife, to rescue the soul of a character to restore them to life. Like fighting a deity or sneaking around their lair to steal it, or out-competing them in like a fiddle contest or a game of cards to bring this player back to life. I just think that sounds really cool. Anyway, that about wraps it up for this video. I'm Exalted Cheese, thanks for watching, and have a great day.